Okay, just wanted to make a quick clip to document something that's rather important. Wondering if you have noticed any anomalies in the wildfire scenes. You know, all those fires that are sweeping the nation and other nations as well. Well, there's this dude named Robert Brame. He's a forensic arborist. He's spent his whole life with trees. He started to notice some things that really didn't make any sense, like when he saw entire neighborhoods wiped out. And yet the trees all around them, surrounding them, were unaffected. Like this shot from Paradise. You notice every one of these homes is reduced to white ash, and yet the trees surrounding them survived. That defies reality, the natural principles of reality. Here's another one. Completely surrounded by trees, but every home completely eradicated. Here's another example. I could go on for years with all the examples out there. But at some point, you're going to get what I'm talking about. This here is an exceptional example. None of the trees around it were burning, with the exception of what was caused by this fire. Now, this is where it really starts to get interesting. Notice the burn patterns here. Notice where the fire is coming from. It's not on the ground. It's not coming from a fire. It's everywhere that metal touches wood. All right? These are some of Robert's images that he's shared from all of the investigation that he's done. You see this? Notice the patterns here. It's burning where there are metal bolts going through the wood. It's not burning the wood. It's not burning the wood unless there is metal in the wood. And look at this here. This appears to be a metal cable. And the fire, to me, looks like plasma. It's going above and below the cable. Everywhere you see a metal bolt going through the wood, you see it's being energized and set on fire. That defies the natural principles. This is a trestle bridge. Here's a fence post. The only place it burnt is where there are nails. The only place this burned is where the bolts touched the wood. You see this? You start to see a pattern here. All right? Again and again and again, Robert was finding these anomalies and realizing this is not natural. This is not right. This defies everything. Wildfires do not do this. So he began sounding the alarm. This is a list of the 10 anomalies that Robert has noticed and documented that you should probably make a copy of and see if you can find yourself. There are certainly some exceptional examples out there in reality. Notice how this bridge is on fire everywhere at the same time. I had seen this image of the Woolsey fire in Malibu, of a bridge that was on fire and smoldering. The metal beams were bent. Yet the trees surrounding the bridge miraculously survived. I went to investigate this bridge myself. I filmed quite a bit of footage and noticed some very unique anomalies. This bridge was constructed with metal beams, wooden planks, covered in asphalt. And you can see where the nails were going through the wood between the beams. And you probably realize that a wood fire typically doesn't heat up steel beams to the point where they melt and warp. If you look around the side and the back, you'll see most of the trees are still unburnt. So, from my background and experience working with microwaves, I was able to recognize these principles and properties can be attributed to microwave assisted combustion. And I did a few experiments to demonstrate this. We have recreated a fence post with nails in it and wire that wraps around it. We put these screws in there, these tacks in there to further demonstrate what's happening is the microwave radiation is being attracted to the metal. It heats up and then it sets the wood on fire. These are the effects that we're seeing in these wildfire areas with the fence posts and the nails that are charred or that have set the wood on fire from the nail, or like a guardrail where the bolt goes through the wood. It's setting them on fire in that spot, which is not a trait of a natural wildfire. All right, so we're going to demonstrate this here in a microwave field. All right, if those bolts were not there, you see that? It's happening where the bolts cross the wood. If the bolts were not there, it would not set the wood on fire. So there you go. All right, you see that the only places where this is burned is where metal is touching. All right, you see here where metal is going through here, that's what set it on fire. There was a metal tack in each of these spots, all right? The wood itself did not burn anywhere else except where the metal went through it, all right? Now, the magnetron is right back here in this microwave, so it's directed right there. So some of these weren't really in range to get heated up like the others did. All right, but you see here, that's where that tack went through. And that's what set this on fire. And this is exactly what we're seeing. It looks just like this. And so there's been this theory that it was caused by microwave-assisted combustion. And I think this definitely demonstrates that is certainly possible and probably the likely scenario of what we're seeing. All right. The same anomalies, which you can't get from a regular wildfire. For a wildfire to set a fence post on fire, it burns in the grass, and it might set it on fire. You get strong winds, heat, no humidity. If it's really dry, it'll set it on fire. You can find many examples where the grass isn't even burnt. A lot of these trees that are burning, all right, you see this right here? None of these trees burnt. But you got 16 cars that burnt so freaking hard. The metal was melted. The windshields were melted. That's 2,500 degrees plus to melt safety glass. And yet the trees are totally cool. Check them out. No problems with the trees. They call it a wildfire because it's really wild. Take a look at how that's burning. All right. You notice how it's all on fire at once? There's no grass burning around it. It's an indication. Anyway. I just wanted to share this because people need to comprehend what's really happening and the agendas behind it, specifically the 30 by 30 initiative and the Wildlands Project. They want to exclude all human activity from the wildlands. And they're going to tie it in with all this climate change propaganda. And this is why you're seeing all the wildfires and the floods and the landslides in the wildlands. And you're seeing the homes getting taken out. You're seeing the homes on fire and not the trees. Look at the evidence. There's a lot more to it. People need to know. And just because this information defies what you were led to believe on TV, doesn't mean it's a crazy conspiracy. It doesn't mean it's fake news. It does mean that there's evidence that somebody's lying to you. And if you want to know who, you got to figure out what the truth is. You got to look at the evidence yourself and stop listening to these talking heads. Doesn't matter if it's the red channel or the blue channel. It's all propaganda. Anybody on the stage is a fucking actor. All these people have lost their homes. Entire towns have been wiped out. There's at least 5 towns in Oregon that were just wiped off the map. Choking on the ashes of the American dream. And everyone just thinks it's the evil global warming monster. Mad about the cow farts. Yep, if you just pay your green fees and your climate taxes and sell your car and take the bus, move out of the wildlands into the sustainable cities and eat the bugs, the weather will change. Yes, sirree, Bob. Nobody realizes that the weather is being changed by the people who make all the money off of this massive shakedown operation. Land grab operation, population control operation, all rolled into one big happy package. The Great Reset. There's a very little chance of turning this thing around at this point. But if you're still alive, you're still in the game. May the odds be ever in your favor.